Why not? Let's just jump into it. Respect everyone's time. Respect your time, Wayne. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us on this webinar today. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Ben Hawkey. I'm the CEO of a company called Real Growth, and we help agents generate leads, build their database, help them with their branding. And I'm also lucky enough to be the CEO of a company called Nurture, which helps agents with their prospecting, help them nurture their database, and ultimately convert more of their leads into listings. And so today I'm excited to have you on, Wayne. Anyone who doesn't know Wayne, Wayne Maguire, he's a CEO and business owner of Ray White Maguires One Team, and runs a successful team of 70 plus. Is that right, Wayne? Out of Auckland, New Zealand?
Yeah, absolutely. In the Bay, sort of central Auckland.
It's awesome. So it's great to have you on. Thanks so much.
Mate, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Ben. Hopefully I can add some value and give some insights to some great people out there doing real estate.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. So, like, what I'm really keen to, just to give everyone a bit of an overview today, I'm keen to discuss, everything from prospecting, building the database, how do we increase our referrals and repeat business?
Yep.
And how should we be nurturing and following up with our people on our database? But I thought before we dive into it, Wayne, do you mind sharing a little bit about, I guess, your real estate journey? When did you first get started in real estate? Kind of, what's that journey been look like over those years?
Ben, it's probably embarrassing because I didn't think it would last this long. So I've been in over 20 years now. So started up in Titirangi, great crew up there, selling residential in that area. I was very lucky in the nationwide brand I was in. I was Rookie of the Year at the start. So I acknowledge all the other rookies out there. You can only have one crack at that. When you pull it off, it's pretty cool. You're in a pretty exclusive club. And very quickly, we ended up moving out of Auckland down to Tauranga. I ended up being a sales manager, branch manager, then a group sales manager in a fantastic business. I had about 14 odd offices. Then I came back to Auckland. I wanted to be in control of my destiny. That sounds good, but it becomes pretty scary. And came back, jumped into business, and came back into Auckland in the GFC, and opened my first office there, or joint office, and traded through. And today we got 6 offices. I've got business partners. We've got a property management business. We've got a few other businesses on the side, and somewhere in between there, we've sort of added in 3 daughters and 3 granddaughters. So it's been a pretty busy ride for the last 20 years.
Amazing ride, and it's so inspiring to see what you've achieved over those 20 years. And I think,
thank you.
I just am excited to ask a couple of questions because you've gone through the ups and the downs of real estate, and so I've just been thinking of what type of questions to ask you. But I thought if I was in your sales team, Wayne, and I was to sit down with you, and I'm doing 100K a year, which I'd be happy with, but I want to 5x my business. I want to go from 100 to 500K over the next 5 years. What strategic advice would you be saying to me, someone who's doing okay but wants to take it to that next level? What roadmap or game plan would you put in place for me to try take me to that next level?
Yeah, really, really good question. I don't think the 5 year. I think 5 years is probably too short for it. Too long, I should say. I think you can do it quicker than that. Like your 100 to 200 will be your hardest, and then hitting the 3 and the 4 and the 5 after that will be easier. Teams that I've had that have started, I can think of a team now, they started at sort of mid-3s when they joined me. And then when they hit 1 million, they looked pretty exhausted, but that was good growth. But then when they hit 2 million, it was easier than when they hit 1 million. So growing as you go through. So just keep that in mind. It is not as hard further down the track. You get like that snowball, Ben? You get that going. So here's what I'd say. Gear it up as a business. Like, real estate agents are ridiculous. They think they can grow a business that is extremely profitable, and yet they won't staff it or gear it like a business, and yet the guy in the corner dairy will. Yeah. So two easy examples. Put staff in, otherwise, yes, you will be in your dairy 24/7, and it'll kill you. So definitely put staff in. Next one is start budgeting like a business and allocating your income back into your expenditure. Easy example in that, marketing and promotion. Yeah, like if you're not doing that, everybody else does it, then you're not gearing up. So we sort of start with that. Then I look at brand. You get to choose your brand. This is a good thing about us in real estate. Like I'm ex-army, and if you strip this back, I'm actually a far better soldier than I am a real estate agent. And my army mates look at me now and go, Mac, what are you doing? You look like are you acting you're a real estate agent? Because we know you're a soldier.
Yeah.
So you get to choose your brand. So when I went into Titirangi, it's a pretty cool village up there. This is 20 years ago. It might have changed now, but I thought everybody up there smoked dope. They all looked like it in the cafes. So my brand had to be different. I was the only guy in a suit and tie. So I stood out. So you could walk down the main street of Titirangi and look down and go, mate, who's that? It wasn't the most comfortable way to be dressed, but it was my rule. And my rule was if I stepped out the front door of the office, I had my jacket on. So choose your brand. You get to choose your brand, and then you fit the brand. Yeah. Structure yourself as a business. You know, allocate staff in there. That's your admin staff. That might be somebody doing your CMAs. It might be the person doing obviously your flyers and signs, that sort of thing. You've got to gear that up to free yourself for that really high dollar productive activity. I think that's sort of the initial structure and the mindset of it's going to be really hard to start with. Like you're going to work your butt off, but it's going to get easier. Yeah. How's that?
Well, it makes complete sense. It's, run it like a business. That makes complete sense. The systems and processes in place as if you're running any other business.
Yeah. Because you're going to make a lot of money out of this. It's ridiculous.
So about reinvesting, like a lot of agents that I speak to who are doing very well are reinvesting a lot back into their business at the start, perhaps more than they would down the track. They're kind of doubling down on their marketing, doubling down on, everything to really win market share, to win mind share.
Well, it works. And Ben, when I look at the guys, we're lucky enough with the Ray White brand that we get a lot of intel from Australia. And when I look at the investment that the Australian salesperson will make, it outstrips what we do. They're very, very serious about their business. I can look at, another guy in our market. He's not in our brand, Paul. He's got signboards down at the Port of Auckland, big digital ones. And I've just seen his growth with that, and he's also created a brand. He stands out, really stands out. It might be a bit different, but so am I. But I've got respect that he's taken a position that no one else can grab now. And we're talking about Paul, So yeah, do that. And have some fun.
So, yeah, exactly. What would be your some real life strategies, like when you sit in your sales meetings with the team? If we're looking at getting some quick wins on the board, say you're at that 100K mark, you need to build the brand, like you said, position yourself differently, put the systems and processes in place. But I want to get a few runs on the board as well and get some listings. I'm keen to talk branding as well down the track on this call. What are some things that we can do and to get some quick wins, some good quick runs on the board, some listings? What kind of prospecting strategies are you recommending your team to implement? Start doing?
Okay, yeah, cool. Think about it this way. Like what I do like about real estate is it's numerical. You can just do the numbers on it, and you've got to have whatever your input is, your output's going to match it. You have a ratio going through depending on what your quality is. So if I was looking at that, I would go, first of all, I'd realize that I'd accept that 3% of the population's in real estate mode at any given time. So what that's going to mean is I met 100 people, 97 of them aren't in real estate mode, 3 are. So, you're going to take a caning if you are only aiming for the 3, but I'll show you how to find the 3. So on the 97, what I'm trying to do is connect with them, and I know I'm going to build business over time. So huge investment in being seen, being visible, being known, being liked and being trusted. That's the evolution of that as it goes through. So that's something you are going to build on the 97 people out of the 100. To find a 3, they've probably already got a flag outside their house, or they've probably got an expired listing. And everybody should be doing this, whether you're our brand or the brand competing against us. You should all be doing the same. As you get down to the end of the listing running out of steam, you should be seeing if that vendor's ready for a change. If they're not, and they love the current agent, then just respect that, you know. All the agents are good out there. It doesn't matter if you're blue or yellow or I don't know what the other colors are, but that's it. They're all good guys, most of them. So respect that. But sometimes the vendor is embarrassed with where it's got to, with what they've said to the agent, and maybe the agent's the same, and it's time for a change. That's where you find the 3, you know. They have literally had a flag out the front saying, hey guys, I know you're door knocking everywhere, but I'm thinking of selling, and I'm trying to sell right now. And equally, it'll be the ones, just go back into that last market. Last 12 months have been horrible. It felt worse than the GFC, and that was pretty tough. But it's changed now. So you've got to go, oh, we change. We put away the tactics and tools we had, and we bring out the ones when there's some growth coming through. So go back to the vendors that were frustrated and couldn't sell in that last market, and connect with them and say, hey, market's changed. Let's have another go. Let's refresh it and crack back into it. And that might be some of your old ones where you're embarrassed also, you know, and you go, oh, I don't even like that vendor anymore, and I don't think they like me. Maybe, you know, kiss and make up, you know, might be time to do that.
Go ahead. So, and when you say reconnect with, you know, expired listings, is this in person, door knocking, calling, all of the above potentially?
Yeah, I think it's all of the above. So Ben, you know, I think what we've got to be doing is staying top of mind. I'll just give you a nugget here. This came from Michael Sheargold. So we were doing a gig this week together, and Michael said mind share equals market share. So wow, this is just fantastic. Right. Which is exactly what the brands do, isn't it? So, yes. You know, we know we've got Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and then after that we go, oh, I'm not too sure who else is in there. Yeah, and then chips, it's Bluebird, Eater, and, you know, so we've got to be, if we've got that, you know, that mind share, we will take out the market share. So long term, make sure that you've got that connection, staying in touch. We stay top of mind, short, sharp, just reminding them of us. You know, DLE is a good example of that. Last 5 to 10 seconds and goes in the rubbish bin, and it's been extremely successful. They've remembered us. Yeah. Yep. So that's one strategy, but the immediate one I think is just put your big boy pants on and go knock on the door and say hello.
Yeah. Okay. I love the when I heard that term, mind share equals market share, it just resonates with me as well. Like as a business owner as well. If we keep putting ourselves out there, whether it's through email, social media, text message, phone calls, more conversations we have, the more we're going to stay top of mind in the eyes of our potential customers and real estate, the homeowners, the more they're likely to think of us and reach out to us when they do consider selling.
Yeah, we've got to be on the shopping list, don't we, Ben? You know, same as any business. The dairy's there on the corner. Literally, they say corner dairy because you can be seen from both sides. You know, you don't, the dairy that's stuck in a block in a strip of shops is not as successful. We go for the corner dairy. So for us, we want to be really well seen. Your business is the same. Mine is the same. My property management business is the same. We've got to remind them if they're thinking of, having somebody look after the management, it should be us.
Talking about prospecting, you're obviously training your sales team all the time. What would you say are some of the biggest, I guess, mistakes when it comes to prospecting? Is it just not prospecting in the first place? Is that the answer? Because I heard that one before. But where do you see agents making mistakes when it comes to prospecting? And how can they fix it? Not just the negative, but and then what could they do about it?
Yeah, that's a big one. Like we might sort of go out the whole session on that. Each week for our team, we've got an online mentoring. So it means you can be driving around in the car, dial in, we sort of discuss things, and I try and help with some thoughts. And this came up. And okay, so if you said, what's the most, as you're trying to create business or find leads, what's the most dollar productive? What has the biggest impact? It's clearly door knocking, because you've got the cut through. So a new agent can cut past old agent by getting to the doors. Old agents running a lot of listings cannot do doors anymore. They're operating in database. The business has moved on. That's the way that's where you get when you're starting to do the 500 to $1 million and up to 2 and up to 3. But at the start, we've got time. So go out and do doors. Now, if you treat the door as your highest priority, because you will meet people, then they'll know you. And then when you repeat it, they'll like you. Yeah. If they don't, you're in the wrong job. But they should like you. Just smile and they'll like you. They'll like you, and then they'll trust you, because they'll see you a number of times and they'll go, oh, I can rely on you. And then you'll get some business. So go and do the doors, but treat the doors like an athlete. Like I'm not a rugby guy, but the Richie McCaw, if you said to Richie, hey, here's how to win the game, do doors. Like, you will get the connection that everybody else is scared of. So toughen up and just do it. And then he'd say, okay, great. How many should I do? I said, well, in a normal business, most people work, the guys that drive past me into the city in normal jobs, 8 hours a day. But Ben, the business owner, works 12 to 14. Fair to say?
For sure.
So we own our businesses. And I'd struggle to see agents do an hour a day. It's like, mate, you're nuts. Go and do 8 hours a day and you're only a worker. Like, do 12 hours a day and you will be completely out of control. You'll have so many listing opportunities. So now we scale that back and we say, okay, if I'm doing an hour and I could make that 2 hours, I've got 100% increase in my business and my activity, and I'm going to get some growth. So what do I need to do that? I need to wear the right clothes, because otherwise I'm going to complain to Wayne it was too hot today or too cold. I'm going to have to have fuel. Yeah. So make sure you got your protein bars and your water, and make sure you got shoes that you can walk for 2 hours in, so you still look comfortable and you can smile. And then the last one is mindset. Mindset is extremely important. And this is where, if you don't do this part, you'll miss out. And like next year, I'm gonna whistle up to Everest Base Camp. And they say, when you're training, train 2 things. Obviously your body for altitude, but also your mind to go through that pain and that slog, because it's pretty tough. So if we're door knocking, let's treat it that way. Let's say, if I want 500,000, yeah, okay, do 4 hours of doors a day, or do 5 hours of doors a day. Do as many as you can, then have a break, go away and feed yourself, fuel yourself, get your mind right, and then come back and go again. So that's what I would suggest. And then Ben, I'll give you a really cool, so that we've got to, I've got team members approaching it like that. Yeah. And they'll do 5X. They'll be $1 million writers, and everybody else will be wondering what they did. Now, here's the other thing. Consistency counts. So I have now, for a number of years, watched what I've been taught, what they taught me for 20 years, and gone, oh, man, it's completely wrong. So consistency counts. So when you take a farm, stay inside your farm. The failure I see is people chase the shiny thing. And people go, oh, yeah, I wouldn't chase the shiny thing. I bet you do. I'll bet you when you do a new listing, I'll bet you do the magics around it. And you tell them, I've just listed it, and I'll invite you to my open, and I've just sold it. And I'll bet you don't get any business off that. Now, every now and then you might, but if you do, it's probably because that is inside your farm patch. Now, Ben, this is like completely different to what everybody's teaching. So guys, take this with a grain of salt, but here's my experience. 10,000 auctions. Saturday, Sundays, did all the auctions on site. Everybody said, Wayne, I need you on site because I want the neighbors to come because I want to get their listing. And I can never remember going back to the same street with the same agent because of that. It never worked. Never worked. And we even, living up in Koei, we were about number 21 in the street. So yeah, infill down the sides in our area. So there's, I don't know, 40 odd houses sort of sitting between us and the corner.
Yeah.
And I watched in the period of about 4 or 5 months, 10 agents come and go. And they all put signboards up and they all did the, hey, just let's come to the open, hey, just sold, do another one. And the other ones popped up, but with different agents. Nobody got two out of the 10. So I go, that strategy's got no consistency. So now if I go back to my farm and I go, hey, I've just listed one over here, but I'll tell my farm about it. And I've sold it and I'll tell my farm about it. And I've listed one up here and I'll tell my farm about it. Now I've sold it, I'll tell my farm about it. And I reckon, Ben, what you get over here is compound interest.
Yeah. That snowball effect that you're talking about.
That snowball effect, yeah. And I'll tell you what, Ben, here's the danger. Man, this is as boring as hell. This is exciting. You're chasing the shiny thing. Farming is boring. Yeah, it really is, dropping those DLEs every week into the same letterbox. And I make it boring for the clients in our farm area because there's only 4 DLEs. So, by week 5, you're back to number 1 and then it repeats, but it's just consistency. And again, at last 10 seconds, then I go top of mind, remember my brand. I'm gonna be on the shopping list. So yeah, if you can get back in there and apply compound interest on it, then I think over here you do a single listing, nothing happens. But you do 4 listings over here, remind your farm, you get a listing in your farm. Now it's going to start compounding on everything else you're doing inside your farm.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense. And so consistency leads to familiarity, right? You're saying familiarity leads to trust.
Exactly it. Yeah,
trust.
And be familiar, absolutely. And Ben, it's okay. Same as us in our business relationship. I love your products. I love what they do. We're using them, and then it's my connection with you. I go, oh, I'll tell you what, like Nurture It. That's really good. The social media stuff you're doing for us, that's really good. I'm getting business off that. And then I go, and guess what? I actually like Ben. So you are a person. I'm not dealing with the company. I'm dealing with Ben, the person. And you've got a product that stands up. It works.
Yeah, oh, no, appreciate that. That's good. So yeah, so consistency. In whatever you're doing, stop chasing the shiny object. There's no hack. It's about consistency and doing it over and over again. I know we had Diego on the podcast, the webinar a couple weeks ago. He's doing it for 5 years, 5 days a week, every single day. And now he doesn't have to, but he did at the start, and he did it consistently.
And that's the good news. Yeah, that's the good news, isn't it, Ben? Diego said exactly the same then. So you slog through that work, but then there's a certain point you get to database. And one of my teams, they were fantastic at doing doors. They had really good growth coming through. And I had to pull them in and say, hey, so-and-so, you're not allowed to do doors anymore. Like you're a champion at doors, but you're not allowed to do it. Now I need you operating with inside your database and making sure the communication to the database now, higher quality, higher frequency, and you don't miss anybody inside there. The attrition out of the database will be replaced by the amount of people you're now meeting at open homes. You don't need to knock on the door. They're coming to your door at your open. So again, evolution of the business as it comes through. Same as a soldier. At the very beginning, in the army, you are mentally challenged as much as you are physically challenged. Like a 10-mile battle test, which is with all your gear on, your pack, your rifle, and your kit, is hard on the body, but man, it's hard on the mind. But for 10 miles, you just put one foot in front of the other and keep going. I think we do the same with door knocking, with prospecting. These guys, you can take anybody here and you can apply that strategy with discipline and a coach to remind them, hey, fuel, hey, keep going, hey, you're doing the right thing, hey, come back over here and stay on track. Then you put the coach in place, and then anybody listening can do it. Absolutely, 100%.
So what does that next phase look like? You said you pull people off the door knocking, said, hey, now you need to start focusing on the database.
Yeah, okay.
What does that look like for agents needs to start focusing? That's where they get that repeat business and referrals as as well. What does looking in the database look like for you?
Well, put it in this principle. If you once your database is sufficient, like 1,000 to 2,000 is phenomenal. You know, you can build multi-million-dollar business just on that. If you've got more than that, you've probably got to tidy it up. And a lot of people, every single agent that's joined me has told me leading into conversations that they've got a good database, but they all make a confession just before joining, like, oh, Wayne, actually my database is a bit messy, you know, because they're actually embarrassed. So everybody's exactly the same. So if you're listening and you've got a messy database, you're very normal, don't worry. But what we've got to do now is clean that up, you know. We've got a phone number, we've got a name, we've got a house that we can sell allocated to them. That's what we're tracking and putting in there. We've got a current email address, and we're doing the hygiene of checking that all the time. People change jobs, email address changes. Some people change jobs, phone number changes if you've got their work number. So now the database is important, and I operate inside the database. If I haven't moved over to that at the right time, what I do is I end up adding people to the database, but the ones are dropping out the bottom. There's leakage, and it's frustrating. Now I go to the quality of the database. So I think just short, sharp information. You know, 1 week for us would be the digital magazine. They can see all our listings. They can see our profile on there. Next one in a month would be a financial comment on the update. Very lucky in New Zealand, you know, it changes every month of where it is. For our team, I write articles for the newspaper. So we get that article in there. People can share that through. Say, hey, look, this will be published. You'll see it also. Here it is, direct from Wayne. He's happy to answer any questions. Yeah. It's adding in all those components sort of as you go, and your new listings. Then it is phone calls through your database, connecting with them.
How many would you suggest a year? How often would you suggest you phone someone on your database a year? 3 times?
Oh, as often as you can. It's almost like painting the harbour bridge, you know, just keep going. You know, they paint the harbour bridge, they get to one end, they go back and go, mate, we've got to keep painting, you know, bring me more grey paint. My phone calls might be different to other people. And Ben, again, you know, like listening to this, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not the guy that puts notes into systems, mainly because I can't type, but mainly because I'm not interested in the note. I reckon I can bring that conversation back up with the person fresh and say, hey, Ben, how you doing? I just saw your number. I was thinking of you, and I thought I'd say hi and remind you, you're thinking of real estate or friends or family? Mate, just give me a shout, Ben. That's more my style, as opposed to, hey, Ben, how's your cat? It had a broken leg. Is your cat good now? You know, which is the note system going in. Now, people will get the balance right there. I'm too far over one side, and I think the broken leg on the cat's too far over, but it might be the notes in the middle. So you remember that the kids are up at Selwyn College or over at St. Heliers or something. Maybe you've got something in there, but keep the frequency up. Most of the things I do, probably my nature, are short and sharp. Door knocks, drop and go. No great long script. Drop and go. Real easy, you know, tension comes out of it. Phone calls. I literally did that in my system. I'd just go through the phone list, and I'd phone all my Bens in a row, you know. Hey, Ben, just saw your number here. I was about to call someone else, and I thought, man, I'm going to talk to you first. How you doing? What's happening? Oh, sweet. Okay. Mate, that's fantastic. We've got to catch up for a coffee. Remember, real estate, call me. Your friends and family, call me. Let me know. I'll look after them, mate. Take care, man. And then I'm out of there. And then I pick the phone up and again, hey, Ben, because it's the next Ben in my system as I go through. Now, a lot of the systems now are becoming, and you've got this, are becoming more sophisticated, and you've got to move with this. So technology now is a big player. A lot of systems now can predict which person is seeing activity or doing activity in real estate, and then I call them. So today I don't go through the Bens in a row. It now suggests to me there's been activity around in your system, there's been activity around this property. They're going to drive past a new signboard. They're going to drive past a sold sticker. So I'm going to message them, and then I can also call them. And then if I do that quickly, I beat my competition to it. So that when my competition, if they ever door knock and go, oh, we just sold the one around the corner, they go, yeah, cool, thanks. Yeah, Wayne kept us up to date with this. Really cool. They go, mate, who's Wayne? I haven't got a Wayne in my team. But it's now the technology saying, here is the target that we are going to focus on. So we talked about investment at the beginning. You're going to staff, you're going to budget, for your marketing, and now you're going to put technology in there. Like, if you don't, we are going to beat you. And this is a competitive industry in a great way. It keeps us sharp, and it keeps, like, after 20 years, it's still exciting, because I want to go out there and go, oh, I can do better, and we can beat what we're doing. And like $1 million is not as good as 2. And why are the 2s and the 3s not doing 5? And what would it feel like at 10 million? What does your business structure look like then as an individual salesperson?
I know you're very like you helped us out a lot in terms of the nurture and talking to some of your team members. Like, how did you, like, could you share a bit about Nurture and how some of your team members are using it in their business, Nurture app?
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is. So on Nurture app, it really is changing us from not knowing who to target and not knowing what to say. And that creates an excuse. And then the typical salesperson, so if you're listening to this and this is you, don't worry, you're just normal. The typical person goes, well, I don't know what I'm going to say, and I don't know who I'm going to call. So in fact, I'll do some admin instead. And now I've run out of time for my call. Sorry, but I'll do it tomorrow. So that excuse now, you've taken the excuse away, and you've said, here's the target. I can predict. Ben's predicted it's this person. They're going to see something in real estate, and here's the message. Like, when you did that and I went, there's the message, I went, fantastic. Fantastic. So Ben, you've taken the excuses away and you've sped up the process. Now your frustration, and any business owner's frustration, is uptake. And that's around the lack of discipline. Yeah. And that's around mindset. We just haven't got control of our mind because we've got a bit of fear around something. And the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you're scared of one thing, you're going to be scared of a lot of things. If you can break through one thing, you'll break through a lot of things. And you just have little wins. Like, I love boxing and sparring because I'm not afraid to get hit, and therefore I'm not afraid to negotiate. Like, if I can go rounds in the morning for an hour getting hit, I can negotiate a deal in the afternoon. There's no fear in there. That's a little one gives a little one, as we come through. If I can go, look at me, Ben, like, I don't even look like a real estate agent, and I don't want to, and I don't care. And if I can go, I don't care what you think. This is me. This is my brand. Then I can start breaking through what I'm doing. And if I just say to people there, like, real estate is 24/7, and it's been 20 years. But I don't, work-life balance is, it's all consuming, but be the person you are. Like, if you're a mum, just be the mum first. And if you're a dad, be the dad first. And if you're the guy that wants to surf and box and get tattoos, just do it. Enjoy who you are. And then the rest of it packs in around that. And then have people with you that support you as you go through that. So yeah, it's that getting that mindset right will allow you to take it on, get through the excuses, and then use, your system's unbelievably good. I can show people after you've jumped off, Wayne, anyone who wants to stay on and just have a quick look, I can quickly show them how it works. But I don't want to take up any more of your time, Wayne, because we've hit 10:30. But I just thought, actually, on the mindset, like, do you think your time in the army really helped you with your mindset and your discipline, or do you think you're always like that? Oh, I think the army really suited me. Like, you get in there and some people don't like it. Like, I loved it. I loved every single bit of it. I remember running down the desert road. It's snowing, coming in from one side, and the one side of my body is covered in snow, and the offside isn't. And trucks are whistling past. Like, this is a long time ago. and there's
Yeah.
spraying water. I'm going, this is really dangerous. If I move over one step, I could get hit by the truck. You know, maybe the army's a dangerous place, and not getting hit by trucks, but a lot of our guys were killed. But that I've always carried that. And I've always reminded myself, man, you can run down the desert road covered in snow down that side. You can do what you're doing now. So yeah, the mindset comes through, but anybody can do that. Grab a coach that helps you with mindset. Be in a team that helps you with mindset. You know, the gig will be far more enjoyable. You'd be like me 20 years later going, man, that happened real fast. I'm looking forward to the next 10 or 20. I don't know.
Thank you so much, Wayne, for like jumping on the webinar and just sharing your insights, you know, from the last 20 years in real estate. I've taken a lot away from that in terms of just, you know, just consistency, mindset. I think we all hear it. I think agents do hear it a lot from the coaches, but I don't know, what's your one piece of advice to take away? You know, like, you know, we hear it all the time. We get all this advice. People are listening to this mindset, you know, consistency, right? I've heard this 5 times. Have you got an actionable thing that you do that's like, do you just take one step at a time? Like, how do you stay consistent, or how do you look at things so you can break it down into small pieces and go small goals, and we're going to chip away, because sometimes it feels overwhelming. So I'm just trying to think, what's like one piece of advice you could leave everyone with that's going to help them, because that mindset, it impacts their entire business, whether it's prospecting or marketing or whatever it might be.
Yep. Okay. I'll give you two panels sitting in there. First panel is look after yourself mentally and physically. Like I gym more times than anybody I know. I drink 4 liters of water a day. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink coffee. And every bit of food I eat is only fuel. I'm just looking at how much protein is in it and where my vegetables are as I come through, and all my vitamin intake. So that's exercise, water, fuel, and sleep. Do that, and then you're set up. Yeah, you've got to get your mind right. Control the words that you talk, how you're talking to yourself inside your head. Yeah, and then the last part of that panel is don't take yourself too seriously. Like, honestly, we're only selling houses, and they go, it's their biggest asset. My ass, it is. It ain't. Their biggest asset is their health and their family, and in fact, their ability to earn income. The house is it's the same as a car, just this physical thing that you hang out in. So don't get so far up ourselves that we think we're doing this great deed to the world. We just list and sell houses. The people that deliver babies and stop people having dying on the operating theater, those are heroes. Yeah. What we do, just calm down. We list and sell houses. And if you do a mistake, I know Wellington's going to get on your case, but just go, mate, just relax. It ain't the end of the world. And my job in the army, a bad day was when someone was killed at either end. That's a really bad day. And our day, I say to my team, as long as you didn't kill anybody today, we're okay. Just chill out. Okay. So I think, yeah, set yourself up physically, mentally, and then remind ourselves that, hey, look, we do a great service for people, and we get, yeah, I see agents in tears. I've seen that for 20 years, but just chill out. You know, we didn't kill anybody today. If we made a mistake on a house, just relax. Just don't do it again. There you go. Yeah. Be easy on yourself, Ben.
Be easy on yourself. Don't be too harsh on yourself. That makes sense.
And enjoy it. Have some fun.
Great final words, Wayne. So thank you so much for jumping on. What I'll do, anyone else who wants to stay on, I'll give them a bit of a demo through Nurture, but I'll let you go, Wayne. Thanks so much.
I'll disappear off the work. Great to see you, Ben. Take care, mate.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, everyone. Yep. Cool. All right, guys. Well, it's so great to have Wayne on the call. What I'm going to do now is just show you how Nurture app works. Wayne was talking about it, how his agents are using it in his business on helping them with their prospecting in terms of who should they be calling, what should they be talking to them about. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to screen from my phone. So that's where I'm looking down. I'm looking down because I want to bring up my screen. If someone can just drop something in the comments, if you can see my phone, because I'm about to take over the screen. Okay. Can someone drop in the comments? I think it's working in the Q&A, perhaps in the Q&A section. Someone can just say, yeah, I can see your screen. Perfect. Thank you so much. Right. So this is Nurture. This is what Wayne was talking about. This is what he has a lot of his agents using with prospecting. So it's just an online tool that I built with a friend who's a software developer. Basically, what it allows you to do is it allows agents to prospect more effectively. So what you're looking at here are recent sales that have happened relevant to the people on my database. So I've uploaded my database and I can see here 8 Takapū Street in Henderson, Auckland. If I click on that property, we can see here in blue, all these blue dots. These are all of the people on my database who live within a 1 kilometer radius of the sale. So we've got Nova and Mark, they're 73 meters away. You know, they would have seen the signboard up and they know that the sale has recently sold. So this is my opportunity now to either call Nova and Mark or send them a text message to let them know about the sale. So this is kind of taking the work out of it. We're already showing you who to talk to. So if I was to click send with this big blue button, what it does is it automatically creates the text message on my phone. And it says, hi Nova, I thought you might be interested to know that 8 Takapuna Street, a 3-bedroom home nearby you was just recently sold for $715,000. I know you're not looking to sell, but it's always nice to know what's selling around you. If you'd like more information on the sale, just let me know. Right? So it's just a really simple text message that's saying, hey, this is what's happened in your area. Just thought I'd keep you updated. I know you're not looking to sell. Have a great day. Boom. I just hit send and that goes directly to that contact, Nova. And I go back to my messages. I go, yes, it's sent. And we work our way down the list, working our way through. I might not send all the text messages out, but you can see here, it's tracking all of these people. So a great way of prospecting in your farm area, keeping people updated by communicating with the people. And just like Wayne said, frequency of communication and doing it consistently. And basically that's what Nurture allows agents to do. It allows them to consistently nurture the people on their database so they can stay top of mind. So when Nova and Mark do consider selling, they're going to be thinking of you. So you want to maybe be sending a text message or a phone call to Nova and Mark, who we send a message maybe once every couple of months, keeping them updated, staying top of mind. You can change the text message. You can do all sorts of things. You can change the text message template here. You can change the radius and just say, show me people who live within 500 meters of the sale. Maybe reduce your radius down. You can upload sales. You could be at an auction and you might be sitting in the auction room right now and you might add a sale and you might go, wow, we just sold a property for $650,000 today, and it was on 15 Swordon Place in Timaru, and boom, save. You know, within a few seconds, you've uploaded your own sale or someone else's sale that's happened in the auction, and it's brought up potential opportunities. It's already identified that there's one person, Ben Hawkey, who lives near 15 Swordon Place, and I can send them that person a message. So really, it's just giving you the ability to communicate more effectively with more value-added information with the people in your database. So that, in a nutshell, is how it works. I will